Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining our HMIS training webinar today. Please enter your name into the chat box for attendance. We will cover what is coordinated entry system and discuss most commonly used CES reports related to enrollment data, clients on the community queue list maintenance, housing opportunities, and matches and common data quality concerns. We do have a lot of materials to cover today, so we ask that you enter your questions into the chat. And if we have time at the end, we will address those questions. And if we don't have enough time, we will answer your questions in a recap. What is the coordinated entry system? It's a method of matching housing opportunities to the most vulnerable homeless population in the community. You'll see on this slide a list of the different CES components. Individual CES serves adult-only households, and that is managed by Friendship Shelter. Family CES are for households with adults and children and is managed by Family Solution Collaborative. Veteran CES serves households with at least one veteran and is managed by the County of Orange. Youth CES serves households where all the members are under the age of 25 and is also served by the County of Orange. CES Set-up in HMIS. There are two agencies that is set up with CES projects under the agency, which is County of Orange and Family Solution Collaborative. A household should be enrolled into CES project that matches their household composition. Single person household or household with all members who are 18 and older would be enrolled in individual CES. Household with at least one adult and one child or households expecting a minor child. This includes family in the process of reunification, families that are temporarily separated or pregnant. These households would be enrolled into Family CES. As mentioned previously, depending on the household composition, youth and veteran households would be enrolled in either individual CES or Family CES. Veteran households will be included in the veteran registry when the veteran status is yes on the client profile screen. Youth household would be included in TAE registry if all members are under the age of 25. You will see underneath the CES system a list of assessments. Depending on the household needs, the access point will conduct an intake and collect the information needed for the assessment. Complete the CES assessment to match clients to permanent housing opportunities. Veterans will complete the coordinated entry assessment to be matched to housing opportunities. Complete the bed reservation assessment to match clients to shelter opportunities through CES. The prevention assessment tool is to match household to homelessness prevention opportunities. Stepping Up assessment tool is for household and rapid housing projects that need to be matched to a housing opportunity through CES for additional or ongoing rental assistance. Moving on assessment tool is for households in PSH projects that need to be matched to a housing opportunity with less intensive services. CES roles. There are three main roles that work together within CES: the access point, the matchmaker, and the housing agency. The first role is the access point, which is an agency that connects the client to the coordinated entry system. The access point also provides additional assistance to the clients, such as case management, while the client is on the community queue. The second role is the matchmaker. The matchmaker will match clients to available housing opportunities. This role is performed by the CES leads. Finally, the third role is the housing agency, which offer housing opportunities and receive referrals to house clients through their projects or provide assistance with housing search. In the next sections, we will be reviewing CES reports. We will start with enrollment data.
Good afternoon, everyone. I wanted to go over the active client reports. These are the reports that you'll run in order to see all the active clients that are in a coordinated entry project for each CES component. As you can see, we have the two agencies that are in charge of CES, the County of Orange and Family Solutions Collaborative. And then we also have the location of these reports. It's listed under OC Clarity System Reports and Coordinated Entry. The 4 active client reports that are available are FCES, ICS, VCS, and TACES. Next slide, please. When you export the active client reports, you'll get a list of all the active clients. And we ask that you pay attention to certain report fields because these report fields are very important in determining housing for the clients. So you want to pay attention to the access point, city prior to entry, city of last known permanent address, residence prior to entry, approximate date homelessness started, chronically homeless status, disability status, current living situation, CES assessment data, and finally household size. All of these report fields go into determining housing for your clients. So you want to make sure that this information is accurate.
Thank you, Diana. So we'll move on to the next section, which are clients on the community queue.
Hey everyone, in these slides we're going to be going over the different community queue reports that you can run to see if a client you're working with is on the community queue. In order to be on the community queue, the client has to have an enrollment in the appropriate community queue program, as well as a corresponding assessment and a referral to the community queue. And in order to run these reports, you can navigate to the reports section in HMIS, and go to the data analysis tab under OC Clarity System Reports. There's a section called Coordinated Entry. And there's 4 different community queue reports that you can run, one for each of the queues. So there's one report for the family CES community queue, one report for the individual community queue, one report for the veterans queue, and then one report for the TAE queue. And these reports are going to show you if your client is on the community queue, as well as the different information from their enrollment and assessment that will indicate different eligibility and preference towards different programs. So it's a good report. These reports are good to run to verify any enrollment and assessment data, as well as verify that the client you are working with is on the queue. These reports do not show the order of priority a client is on the queue, as different projects are prioritized differently. But they will have the fields from their program, their assessment, and their profile information as well. So on this slide, you can see that some of the reporting fields include personal ID, household ID, other fields from their profile information, like their social security number, age, veteran status, as well as information from their enrollment, in CES programs and assessment information. So fields like project start dates, approximate date homelessness started, residence prior to entry, information on household demographics and household size, as well as their current living situation. And I do want to highlight this last field at the very end for disability and CH documentation. So this field on the report is actually going to show you if the client has the correct documentation uploaded into HMIS to show disability and chronic homelessness. And this is a very important field to reference to see if the appropriate files are uploaded, as different projects will require and prioritize clients based on the documentation they have uploaded into HMIS. So if you run this report and the disability and CH documentation field shows up as no, that's an indication that you need to go and review that client and make sure that the documents uploaded to their profile are public and are uploaded so that they can indicate their disability status and chronic homelessness. You can go to the next slide. So the next reports we're going to highlight are households waiting for bed reservation. And these are similar to the last reports, but these are going to show you if a client you're working with is on the bed reservation queue. So these reports are located in the data analysis tab of HMIS. Under OC Clarity System Reports, there is a section called bed reservation. And there's two different reports, one for family CES bed reservation and one for individual CES bed reservation. And these are the fields that are going to be on both of the reports, or these are the fields that are going to be on the family CES report. So similar to the last report, we have the fields related to the client's profile. So their unique identifier, their client full name. We have different enrollment information, project start and exit dates for the enrollment for CES, as well as questions regarding their, or fields regarding their current living situation, their access point, and their residence prior to entry. And then we have some fields that are particular to the bed reservation assessment. So some of these fields include what spa they're in, whether the client has a felony history, whether the client has an open warrant, any special accommodations, as well as information regarding their family composition, city ties, shelter preferences, and other information that's useful for the purpose of reviewing eligibility and preference towards different shelter programs. We also have information regarding the household size, as well as household composition. So how many adults and children are in the family. And then for the ICES, households waiting for bed reservation, it's a very similar report to the family report. So it's going to have a lot of the same fields, fields regarding the client's profile information, their project information, as well as fields from the individual bed reservation assessment. And these have very similar questions to the family bed reservation assessment. So it's going to be fields regarding their felony history, any special accommodations, shelter preferences. And once again, these reports are good for referencing, verifying that the client you're working with is on the bed reservation queue, but also reviewing their information regarding preferences and eligibility so that they are eligible and prioritized for the correct projects. And then this next report is going to be to review clients on the CES homelessness prevention waitlist. So this report is going to list all clients in both individual and family CES queues who are in need of homelessness prevention. and it is located in the same place as the bed reservation reports. So you're going to access HMIS, go to the data analysis tab under OC Clarity System Reports in the section called bed reservation. And you also want to make sure that you're logged in under the correct agency that you want to run the report in. And these are the fields for the CES homelessness prevention waitlist. Once again, a lot of the same fields. We're seeing the fields from their profile information as well as their enrollment information. We have information regarding rental history and tenant information, as well as eviction history and felony and employment history as well. And then we have different fields regarding the household demographic and household composition. So whether there are any seniors in the household or dependent children. And then we have another field for if there is, if the household is under 50% AMI. And then we also have fields regarding mental and physical disabilities. And these fields are also very useful for ensuring that the client is, or reviewing the different information that the client is presenting in HMIS, so that you can get a better idea of what different homelessness prevention projects they are eligible and prioritized for. And then finally, for the community queue reports, we have the CES Moving On and Stepping Up community queue. So these reports are going to be in the same section. You're going to access it by going to the Data Analysis tab of HMIS under OC Clarity System Reports under Coordinated Entry. And this report is going to show all the clients in both individual and family coordinated entry queue who are on the Stepping Up or Moving On community queue. So stepping up would be currently enrolled in rapid rehousing, but looking to step up to a permanent supportive housing program. And then moving on would be currently enrolled in PSH, but looking for enrollment in a project with less intensive services. And then on this slide, we see the different fields present in the report. So you're all familiar with this, a lot of the same fields. We have information from their client profile, as well as information from their assessment. So yeah, we have questions. We have information regarding days since they were added to the queue, when the assessment took place, assessment information, what city were you in immediately prior to entry into this project.
Okay, thank you, Andrew. We'll move on to our next topic, which is community queue list maintenance.
Hi, everybody. We want to talk about the data entry for the Needs Bed Reservation Assistance Service. You would use this report to determine if a client's need or determine if clients need a new bed reservation assistance service entry to remain active on the bed reservation waitlist. The agency that you would be logged in under in HMIS would be either the County of Orange or the Family Solutions Collaborative. The report location to pull up these reports would be under following the reports launchpad under the data analysis tab, and then under OC Clarity System Reports in the bed reservation section. And the two reports are labeled as the Family Coordinated Entry System Data Entry Need Bed Reservation Assistance Service, and then the ICES Data Entry Needs Bed Reservation Assistance Service. When you pull up this report and you're reviewing it with your case management team, you'll want to focus on the following fields: the client's unique identifier, their full name, the access point, the program name, the project start date, the project end date, or the project exit date, and then the service start date, the service end date, and the last attendance date. The report includes all clients that are on the bed reservation queue and service date fields indicating the last service date. The user should be adding a service to clients missing a service date or a service date which is more than 7 days old, so as to keep the client active on the bed reservation list. Next slide, please. And then moving on, the CES Data Entry Needs Prevention Assistance Service is a different report which is used to determine if a client needs a new prevention assistance service entry so that they can remain active on that homelessness prevention coordinated entry waitlist. Same as above, you would want to make sure that you're logged into HMIS as under either the County of Orange or the Family Solutions Collaborative. And the report is located on the Data Analysis tab under the OC Clarity System Report section, but under the Coordinated Entry section of that list. Next slide, please. The fields that you would want to focus on for this report for the Needs Prevention Assistance Service are the client's unique identifier and their full name, the program full name, the enrollment project start date, the enrollment project exit date, the access point, and the assessment score. The head of household must have an assessment score of at least 12 points to be eligible for prevention assistance services. The head of household will also need an active needs prevention assistance service entered within the last 7 days so as to remain active on the waitlist. Service providers can filter the access point column on this report to review clients from your agency that are being currently served. And then the CES active clients active with service provider and on the community entry system, coordinated entry system community queue is a report that would be used to review clients enrolled in the coordinated entry system with an active enrollment at your specific agency. The agency that you can access this information is under your specific agency. So under the agency dropdown for the service provider agency. And this is also located on the data analysis tab under OC Clarity System Reports in the same coordinated entry section. While a household is on the community queue, the case manager should make sure that no more than 90 days have passed or that any 90 days with the no activity does not occur. Otherwise, the household will be automatically removed. In order to keep households active on the community queue, a case manager can do any of the following. There's 4 things that can be done. Either first, check in on the referral page. Second, they can add a note to the head of household's record. Third, they can update the current living situation. Or 4, they can add a coordinated entry event. And then when you're reviewing this specific report for the clients active at agency on this community or coordinated entry system community queue, the fields that should be focused on are the client's unique identifier and full name, the service provider's project name, the service provider's project type, the service provider's enrollment date and exit date, the current age, their veteran status, yes or no to whether they are on the community or coordinated entry system community queue, the date they were added to the community queue, the last activity date, the assessment date, and the assessment name. And then the last 3 columns are for rapid rehousing, permanent supportive housing, or housing choice voucher, yes or no to any of these 3 columns.
Thank you, Armando. We'll be moving on to housing opportunities, and matches.
Hello, everyone. I'll be reviewing 3 CES housing opportunities and matches reports. These reports provide insight into the current housing availability and recent matches in HMIS. The first report is the CES Available Housing Opportunities. This report shows available housing opportunities that are to be matched that week via the House Placement Match meeting. Housing providers can use this report to verify if they've added the housing opportunity for CES and to ensure that the housing opportunity is accurate so the matchmakers could send appropriate referrals. There is an agency name filter that you can use to refine the report results for your particular agency. Those primarily using this report would be housing providers. The report can be found by clicking on the Launchpad, then clicking on Reports, going to the Data Analysis tab, and clicking on OC Clarity System Reports. And in there, you'll find the section on coordinated entry. Next screen, please. This is a list of all available fields. This data can be downloaded in Excel and CSV format. And just to summarize the fields, there's agency and project information. So agency name, name of the housing project, and project type, and specific information pertaining to the housing opening, such as notes regarding the opening, city preference, and whether the housing opportunity is for family CES, individual CES, veteran CES, or it's for transitioned-aged youth clients. And lastly, it includes a count of the number of program openings. Next screen, please. This next report is the CES pending households matched to housing opportunities. Housing providers can use this report to review pending referrals to an agency's housing opportunities. Use the Refer to Program's agency name filter on the report to refine the reports to your own agency. This report may also be found by going to the Data Analysis tab under the OC Clarity System Reports in the Coordinated Entry section. Next screen, please. Data results can also be downloaded in Excel and CSV format. And this is another list of all the fields. It includes profile data such as unique ID and client full name, the referred to agency information, so the agency name and the project type, referral information such as the date referral was reassigned, the referring agency, day since the referral added to the community queue, and other relevant date fields. And like the previous report, it provides whether the opportunity is for family, individual, or veteran CES, or if it's for TAE clients. And finally, the last field is that provides a list of the care team agencies. Next screen, please. The final report is the 103 referral statistics inbound report. Use this report to review the status of the following referral activities: pending in process, completed, expired, and denied referrals. And like the other reports, this information is suited to housing providers agencies. But unlike the previous reports, this report is a canned report, and it's available in the report library in the community and referral section. Next screen, please. So once you click on the report, I'd like to point out that you can use the report date range to refine your results to a specific time period, and you're able to download this report in either PDF or Excel formats. There you'll see 4 columns of aggregate data, but the main one I'd like to point out is the community queue program column, which represents those reassigned to program from the community queue. The report itself is divided by sections for each of the referral activities. And under the pending and process referrals, you'll see statistics on total number of referrals, oldest, newest, and average referral in days. Under the completed, expired, and denied referrals sections, you will see data on the total number of referrals and then longest and shortest and average time in days. The last two sections of the report are the breakdown of the most common denied referral reasons and the breakdown of referred to programs. Review the paragraph at the top of the report for additional information on the report itself.
Thank you, Heather. We will move on to common data quality concerns.
When conducting a CES intake or assessment, as we stated before, it's very important for the information to be accurate and complete data collection. It is critical to ensure that clients are appropriately matched to the housing opportunities that they are eligible for. Access point staff should review the intake and assessments to get a better understanding of the questions to assist clients with accurate data collection. Please share this message with clients prior to conducting intake. Information you share with us in these questions is valuable and important. This information helps us connect you to services and housing. The information about your living situation, disabling conditions, city of last permanent housing, and city where you were last night are very important because they help us understand your service and housing needs and eligibility. Next slide, please. The CES Common Data Qualities Dashboard Report is a dashboard that includes the following reports. So the dashboard has a number of different sections that you'll be able to view, and these are the sections. Approximate date of homelessness started and episodes of homelessness inconsistencies. Missing current living situation. Current living situation older than 90 days. Inconsistent prior living situation and current living situation. Community queue referrals that are not from the CES lead. Non-head of household on the community queue. Head of households without client or without contact information. So again, the agencies are the County of Orange and Family Solutions Collaborative. And the location of this dashboard is under Reports, Data Analysis, Orange County Clarity Reports, and Coordinated Entry. Next slide, please. The approximate date of homelessness started should represent the client's most recent experience of homelessness. The field number of times the client has been on the streets, in emergency shelters, or safe haven in the past 3 years is collected to represent the episodes of homelessness a client experiences. Next slide, please. A common error that we see is client reports a date that is 3+ years before the project start and reported more than one episode of homelessness, or the episodes of homelessness is missing. If the approximate date of homelessness is accurate, there should be no break in homelessness. The episode of homelessness should be 1. If there are breaks in between homelessness and episodes of homelessness is accurate, representing the breaks, the approximate date must be the correct to the latest date of homelessness experience. So in general, the number of times homelessness, you want the response of this data collection point to include today, count all the different episodes the client was in a homeless situation in the last 3 years, where there are full breaks in between, meaning breaks that are 90 days or more in an institution, or 7 nights, or more in permanent housing or transitional housing. Next slide, please. So the report fields that you'll see, and you definitely want to pay attention to, besides the client name, client unique identifier, full name, all of those different fields. You'll also want to take a look at the approximate date of homelessness start date, times of homeless in the past 3 years, and also days in between approximate homeless start date and project start. So those are important to make sure that those data fields are correct. Next slide, please. For the current living situation assessment is required for all head of households and adults enrolled in the coordinated entry system. The first current living situation record must be recorded upon enrollment. The assessment date should match the client's project start date, and the information about the client's current living situation should match the information given on the enrollment page regarding the client's living situation immediately prior to project start. A new current living situation record is required when the client's living situation changes or the current living situation is older than 90 days. Next slide, please. If the client is missing the current living situation, you want to take a look at the report and look at their project start and exit. And you also want to take a look at the count of current living situation assessment and review that information to see if it's correct. Next slide, please. When the current living situation is older than 90 days, again, you want to take a look at the project start and exit date, their current living situation field, and take a look to make sure that that information is correct and accurate. Next slide, please. And then finally, with inconsistent prior living situation and current living situation, again, you want to take a look at the project start, the residents prior to entry, and again, their current living situation. Okay, next slide, please.
Okay, thank you, Diana.
Mhm.
Referring agency is not County of Orange or Family Solution Collaborative. This error occurs when a user has multiple tabs open and is switching access between the CES lead agency and other agency. To correct this, reach out to the CES lead to support with removing the referral, and a new referral will need to be created. Ensure that you're under the correct CES lead, either County of Orange for individual CES and Family Solution Collaborative for Family CES when you're completing an assessment and sending a referral to the community queue. It's best practice to complete the workflow before navigating to another task or screen. This is to ensure that the CES lead is sending the client to the community queue and is not causing any reporting errors by referring from another agency. In this report, you will find the following fields for the community queue referral not from CES lead. And you'll see all the client that are referred from another agency. You'll see the ID and the name listed, as well as some profile information, veteran status and current age, and which project they're in. An important field to review is the referring agency field, as that is identifying that the client was referred from an agency other than the CS lead. Non-head of household on the community queue. Head of households should be the member that has an assessment and is referred to the community queue. So these are the fields you will find on this report. It will be identifying clients that are not head of household in their CES enrollment. An important field to review is checking if they're on the community queue. Yes would be that they are on the community queue, and the agency, the user that created the referral and the access point that's working with the client. You can correct this by reassigning the head of household to the client that is the head of household. Navigate to the CES enrollment and adjust the relationship. You will also need to correct the other members' relationship to the newly designated head of household. Head of household without contact. In this report, it will identify head of households that do not have a contact info attached to their profile. Please ensure that all clients on the community queue have an updated and accurate contact information. If the client does not have an email or phone number, the current case manager or an alternative contact could be added. You will navigate to the client profile and click the client contact tab and then add a new contact and mark that as the active contact to inform the provider, the housing provider that will be reaching out to the client, that this is the most accurate and current contact for the client. We also have additional resources regarding CES reports and CES and bed reservation knowledge-based articles that we will link here on this slide. We also have the CES cheat sheet that we would highly encourage that you review. We also have 2 knowledge-based articles about running reports. Most of the reports we review today, you can review by reviewing the Running a Safe Looked article. The one report, the referral and stats report, will be run through our canned reports, so please review the HMIS canned reports KB. We also have a link to our previous CES training. We want to thank you all for joining us. If you join us a little bit later, please make sure that you enter your agency name into the chat.